Okay, everyone. Hey, it's Craig here, along with Michael
Hi.
and Tom
Hey.
and Rhino Clavin
Hello.
right there at the end. So
Hello.
no one else got first names. And of course, we're coming to you live from D23 Expo 2019. We're not coming to you from a booth because we don't have one, but we found
made one.
Yeah, we made a booth.
We made a fort.
Yes.
Do we have to put the furniture back when we're done, or?
No, I'm leaving
Okay,
it here.
okay.
Someone else can put it back. No, we're gonna move it back and stuff. So, but yeah, we found a nice little quiet space where we could come and talk about what we saw this morning. So, you might have watched the first stream that Rhino and I did very early this morning, where we kind of talked about last night, but. Now the real party has started. You guys were waiting in line quite a while this morning.
We were. It was much more organized than in past years. We went through security really quickly. They scanned our little badge, our RFID. We throughout the day, we got our little first tag that we were in a Thursday overnight group. Then then we got it for stage pass, and then they scanned us again because people snuck in for this who didn't have stage pass. It was all very efficient. Lots of people there to make sure nobody cut in lines and all that. Very, very well organized.
Good. Well, besides all of that, obviously, the first big thing that happened this weekend and what we were all a part of was Disney Legends. So it was a very interesting presentation this year. So we were promised the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Jon Favreau, Christina Aguilera, Bette Midler, James Earl Jones. And the list goes on and on and on, and we're going to kind of talk about some of our favorite ones here and there. But before we start getting in an actual individual breakdown, overall, what do you think about the presentation? Was it fun? Was it worth it? Was it good?
I mean, I've attended one once before in 2015, and that one was cool. There was, a surprise recipient of the D23 recipient of the Legends Award. I can't remember. The surprise was Johnny Depp. Yeah. Well, I couldn't remember if it was him or George Lucas because he went last. But and that one they had some entertainment sprinkled throughout, and this one we only had like one song in the beginning.
Yeah, it seemed kind of dry.
Yeah, so it felt like it was kind of getting toward the end, and it felt a little. At no point did it feel like anybody was rushed, but Bob Iger was always kind of lurking near people, and I felt like he was inching closer and closer, waiting to be like, "You're done."
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. In some cases, I posted about it on Twitter. I've been like quiet on my personal social this entire event, but the side eye that he was giving Christina Aguilera,
when she said Sound of Music was a Disney film.
Yeah, I mean, technically it is now a Disney film in a way, but
No, I just thought that it was because it inspired her to that she could. It inspired her to be musical, and and she was in a chaotic household, and that made her realize that she could reach her musical dreams with seeing that film. I didn't know if she was connecting it to Disney.
I think you're definitely finding the silver lining in her saying that. But.
I think about this is as a panel that's not really for us, but we're invited to attend it. It's essentially like these people's like Oscar for some of them. I was thinking, so I try to be very respectful of that. Because there was the Barnett who had designed. She was very emotional, and I was thinking this is the pinnacle of her career for her. And so I was thinking it plays off like it's not for us, whereas in that first one I had gone to, it did feel like it was like, oh, we're putting on a show for you, whereas this one was more like I was in the room.
There was less of a show.
And Barnett was absolutely one of the best moments I think of that. It's you go in expecting to be blown away by the big celebrities in there, and just getting the chance to see them, and it was cool. And Robert Downey Jr. set it off right away.
Yeah,
with,
he started.
with a great
He started
story.
really
Is
high.
anybody surprised at his first time at Disneyland? He was arrested for
I-
smoking
that's-
pot in a sky bucket.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh no, it's perfect.
that didn't surprise me.
I
at
love
all.
that he kept started telling the story and would lean back to Bob Iger and be like, maybe I shouldn't be saying this.
See how far
but
I
he
can
was
push this.
He's like, whatever. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, it was funny.
No, but it was. I mean, it just hit all of those moments. He definitely brought the laughs. Barnett. That was the first point where I got super emotional with
I think
anything.
if I had waited overnight, I might have been disappointed.
Yeah.
I'll say that. The first one I went to, I waited with Michael on that line, and we waited for a couple hours, I think, and it was a really, really awesome experience. But this one, I just felt like overall, it wasn't a full. Oh, I'm sorry, I was saying yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a little shallow with that. There was a couple along the way that couldn't show up, and it happens. So, not really.
I will tell you though that Walt Disney Company video they played at the beginning got me real jazzed up for the weekend, because there was some new scenes from Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker in there. There was some from Disney Plus shows that are coming. It was really kind of I was like, all right, I'm getting emotional watching this video.
Oh yeah, no, the hype videos that they play, it's it gets old by the end of the weekend when
Oh,
you see
no,
the
I'm
same
sure it
video
will be,
every
yeah.
single time. But so it's been the first time that I've been able to see Legends now, the Legends panel, since 2013. So I've had a couple expos off with it. So it was nice to be back in there again. And yeah, it's just, it really is a special moment. But I think we're going to, if you guys want to talk about some of your favorite moments with it, I'm going to scoot out here and let you kind of highlight, because I'm sure most of you out there already watched the live stream that was going out from D23. So basically what happened. But if you guys want to share kind of your favorite moments, give or take, throughout, I'll let you have the floor for that.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Get out.
Bye.
I'll see you for the closing.
See you around. For me, we already talked about Barnett Ricci, but just for folks who are listening, she, of course, pretty much every parade, Main Street Electrical Parade, fantastic. I mean, she was responsible for all of those. And for me, that's what the Legends ceremony is really about. It's seeing the people that were behind the scenes of the things we enjoyed, that created the magic. And just to see her so choked up and so emotional, and like you said, Ryan, this was her Oscar. This was the company and us saying, thank you for everything you did all these years and all that hard work and sweat and all of that. And it just moved me to see her.
It seems like it could be kind of a position she's had for her career that can, she sees it, and she, and her accomplishments have been great, and I'm sure behind the scenes she's rewarded. But it was kind of, when she was giving her speech, I was imagining her reading the letter and thinking to herself, this is something that I never could have imagined in my wildest dreams, and it's an invisible job that we as a viewer don't see, or as a whatever
Fan.
guest.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I thought that was definitely a highlight. I really enjoyed Jon Favreau's his take, because he is clearly somebody who is he's a very knowledgeable. He's a pioneer in I would call him becoming a pioneer at this point. And he basically said that it's Disney that gave him that that playground to really experiment with. But I really liked how he knew everything about that statue, because I have heard that explained on an Adventures by Disney I went on about that, all the symbols involved, and it was cool to really listen to how that each one of those held a special place for him. And I was like, oh wow, this is really meaningful for him.
And how he talked about his career, how Walt started with mice, and then moved on to the magic, and that he tied everything back to Walt, and he was the same way. Mm-hmm. He was now starting with his career to move on to the magic.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Well.
It was that was a fascinating behind the scenes, I feel like, thought process breakdown that was really interesting for me.
He was one of the few that I thought was a true Disney fan up there. Besides like Wing Chow, the people who worked for the company, creating resorts or the parades and the shows. He was a real Disney fan.
Yeah.
The other one that was a real Disney fan, you're probably all gonna disagree with me, but one that I thought was coming in was not quite as deserving as the others, but that I thought really appreciated the award was Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, I actually thought the same thing, because when she was first announced, I was like, I know Reflection and Mickey Mouse Club, but I was like, well, what else? And then they kind of went through it, but then she really laid it out when she talked about going to Tokyo and with her family, and
she's
she
a Disney
knew what she was
fan,
talking
and
about.
it meant so much to her to get the award.
Yeah,
that surprised me.
Yeah, and she might not have been as eloquent as the others when she said it, but it was clear that she even said, I wrote this whole speech, but I just want to throw it away because I'm emotional in this moment. And,
but then the
it was
teleprompter
cool.
kicked in, and
she got caught up in the moment, and that was so nice to see.
Well, and was she the one that touched? She was sitting next to Barnett Ricci?
Oh yeah, she gushed over Barnett.
Oh yeah.
She said, "I love your work."
I didn't even know who I was sitting next to. Yeah, that's what she said. That was cool.
I just thought that was so touching and so genuine.
Yeah. So we said it. Robert Downey Jr. was his energy. He carries through that Tony Stark energy. He is Tony Stark. Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. Like that energy he has and that suave playboy attitude, it carries through so well into the room. Not even into a speech, into everything. And he was just like. It was cool because for me, it could have been somebody who was like, what am I doing here again? And I feel like it was really cool that they highlighted a lot of the stuff he does other than just the Disney and Marvel things, that it was, his ambitions in the world with controlling carbon footprints and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, his charity work.
Yeah.
Did you get the impression that there's a lot of Robert Downey Jr. in that character Tony Stark?
Oh yeah,
that they're really intertwined.
Yeah, I think they were just basically he went in and they were probably like, hey, we want you to be Iron Man, so we're just gonna put this on here. But no, I love him, and then I really like Ming-Na Wen. I've always enjoyed Ming-Na Wen. So so it was kind of cool to hear her backstory. She does not age at all either.
No,
she looks the same. So, but she was clearly really into it too. And what I love is she was saying, where she turned to Bob Iger and was like, please buy more of these things because it allows me to be
employed. Because she's done voice work in practically everything.
Yeah.
What was so really sweet too is she says, I have my Disney family, but because of Disney, I have my real family. I have my career family.
That was nice.
Because she met her husband on the set of the Joy Luck Club. Yeah. And they had 2 children. I thought that's really sweet too. I like that.
Yeah. I'm just looking through here really quick.
Well, you have Robert
Roberts and Diane Sawyer.
Yeah, I thought I love Robin. Just grazed your leg lovingly. Robin is one of those people where I didn't know her whole story. I knew that she had the health challenges, but hearing her backstory, about when she was a broadcaster for basketball and stuff, it was really kind of fascinating. And she's just one of those people too that I feel like is very infectious. She's always a very positive force. So it was cool to be in the room with that.
And she's very regal. Yeah. The way a regal bearing.
Yeah.
In many ways.
But
she was wearing the Mickey Mouse blouse. Tom pointed that out. That's cute. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, she's one of those people. And it was another, it's weird how they all have this entangled history to Bob Iger too.
Yeah. They all worked with him.
Yeah, where he'd come in and be like, you may not know this. And I was like, were you in everyone's bedroom when they were a child? It's like the Sandman or something like that?
Well,
You're plotting the future?
As a weatherman, he got around a few years back. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, Diane Sawyer was also, it was really kind of one of those things to be in a room with somebody who is, not just a Disney legend, but a legend, a report, somebody that I've heard.
Distinguished.
That I've seen on TV my whole life. She is, for me, the next there was Barbara Walters and there's Diane Sawyer. Mm-hmm. These are big names, and it was nice to see her in there too.
She was in reporter mode.
Yes, she was.
She definitely came. What you see in the nightly news, that's how she came across.
She didn't go off script.
Yeah. I actually thought Kenny Ortega was very into it as well. He was very. I mean, I know his bread and butter, his livelihood is making these Disney dance things, and I love a good song and dance man, but he was just going. He got up there and just kept going, and so I thought he delivered a pretty nice. His time on stage was nice too.
And it says a lot for him because he comes to Hollywood. He's into music, choreography, all that, and he's immediately told the musical is dead. Yeah. And it says something for him that he didn't let that stop him. Yeah. And then he found a home at Disney. you know,
Yeah.
with Newsies and High School Musical and
Yeah.
a whole raft of things.
Well-
So I was very impressed by that.
And it's a nice, and what I like is how you said he had said that, excuse me, that that the musical was dead, and I think to myself like, okay, you know, you've heard me talk about High School Musical and Descendants and stuff where they're like guilty pleasure or fun, but you know, a younger kid who sees that, he is inspiring a next generation of people like him. So it's really kind of fascinating to listen to, be able to hear him talk about that and just think, you know, in that moment, he might not be somebody to me that is this like profound thing, but for somebody else, he could be there. Somebody could be accepting this Disney Legend award someday, and him being the thing that they watched on their TV that got them out and about and stuff. So
And that people, you know, a lot of times, you know, you can't follow your dream even when people tell you that, oh, nah, you can't do it. It's over. It's
Yeah.
done with. There can be ways. You know, sometimes it's a circuitous path, but you can get there. And I think that we learned that from a lot of these legends.
yeah,
In their talks.
yeah. It was a little unfortunate because we James Earl Jones didn't make it in person, but he recorded a
No.
message.
And you know, when it seemed like he had some health
yeah.
challenges.
I mean, he's
but
definitely
he is older.
he's in his he's at least in his mid 80s, I believe.
But he still sounded good.
Yeah. So so he had that, and then Bette Midler did not make it as well. But I thought her daughter, giving her the acceptance speech, did. First of all, if that is Bette Midler's speech that she wrote a wonderful,
She did.
wonderful speech that was very true to her voice. I
Right.
feel like, and her daughter delivered it like excellent.
And
You know,
she
it
was
an excellent
emotional, and
delivery.
I love Bob Iger's line that, well, if we ever do the Bette
Yeah.
Midler story, we know who's
Yeah.
going to do it.
Yeah.
Her daughter was
She was high
magnificent.
energy, yeah, and
And she was just as moved as her mother would
Yes,
have been.
yeah.
She was choking up and
Yeah.
clutching her chest.
Well, and that was sweet because it makes me imagine where she's very she's her mother's daughter, so she's very aware of these moments in her mother's life. So to be able to give something on her behalf was very it was kind of touching.
And I liked the way Bette Midler ended her speech was she didn't feel she could call her with all her accomplishments. She didn't feel she could call herself an artist until she received this award.
Yeah, that was it. I thought that was a really nice,
Yeah.
nice little roundabout thing there.
Yeah.
I think that was everybody though. Maybe.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans
Oh,
Zimmer.
yeah, Hans Zimmer was another. He unfortunately wasn't there, but he did record a message, and it was really. I liked his video introduction of that because I think about the Lion King, but I didn't realize it kind of started even maybe a little before that, and he's become this kind of. I don't want to say staple, but he's the guy like that you.
The go-to
Whenever
guy,
it's a
yeah.
Hans Zimmer score, I hear that I'm like, I gotta listen to it right
Yeah.
now because he got into that experimental using that electronic sounds and with the regular music.
It's very much like John Williams. You can tell a Hans Zimmer score
Yeah.
Yeah.
instantly as soon as you hear it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was one of those where I was, not that he would have performed had he been there, but it's one of those where I was like, oh, we're so close, but that was cool. Yeah, and then I thought Christina Aguilera's performance of Reflection was kind of, it was amazing to be in the room. I have never been to a concert with Christina Aguilera, but it wasn't the performance that you would probably see at a traditional
No.
concert with her. It was a very kind of pared down version of it, and it was nice. She did very well.
Acoustic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Was.
I think that's them all, right?
That
I
is
think
them
that's
all.
everybody. So that's kind of all where we're at, right? So we're all looking forward to more stuff. Are we all going to Disney Plus after this?
I'm trying to get into that. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that'll be our next video is us chatting about Disney Plus.
Yeah,
now,
I already
right?
signed up for it.
I will
So
probably
it better be good.
Oh, I am sure it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait. They were because Bob was on the hype train this morning with that.
Oh,
already,
was he
so-
ever? Oh my gosh.
So. And then he said, "Bing, now when's is in the Star Wars
The
show now?" And I'm like,
Mandalorian, yeah.
we gotta go.
Oh yeah, she's in the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Boy, are they pushing that show?
Oh, it better be good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's it. We'll see you later with another
Yeah,
video.
Wish you were here.
Yeah.
You can go now.
Keep awkwardly smiling.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
What are you doing
Bye-bye.
here? Get on.
Bye-bye.
Go.
Bye-bye.
What does the mom say at the end of Ferris Bueller? Yeah. Or